Hello, good morning, this is Diecast and I hope you're all doing well. And today I thought I'd show some vintage pieces. As I didn't show any yesterday, I've been burning the candle at both ends recently. Lots of work, lots of things going on, and I just didn't feel like making a video. I got home late yesterday, and like I said before, I don't make these videos in advance. I usually make them when I can, so usually it could be late in the day, it could be early in the morning, but like I said, I just didn't feel like making a video, so I thought, why not leave it until Tuesday? I've got the morning off Tuesday, so that is what I'm doing. And I've just picked out a random vintage box of goodies to show you to make it even easier. As I've said before, now that I can get to my cars and I can get to my different boxes, so I grabbed one of the vintage boxes. It's got an assortment of Matchbox and Majorette, and most of it's been shown at one point or another, but I thought, why not? There's some really cool pieces, and I want to look in the box because I haven't looked in it for a while. But anyway, less chat and more show. So you will open up, if I can, the case. And this is how I keep a lot of my cars, a lot of my vintage pieces that are loose. I've got these little plastic cases, and I basically throw them in little baggies, and then I throw them in these plastic cases, and then the plastic cases get stacked either on shelves or in other boxes. But anyway, we will just grab what is to hand and pull out something to look at. So I can see straight away this is something that came from car boot sale. I've done it again. Bear with me. It's this big thumb on this phone doesn't get on. So we try again. Right, let's hit the right button this time. There we go. So this is a piece I got a few years ago from car boot. And it's got a few flea bites. You could say it's, I suppose you could say it's loosely a survivor car. It's not in too bad a condition, but it is, I believe, how do they call this, a refuse truck or what? So it is a Ford. I think it's a 70s Ford. Let's have a little look what it is. So there you go, Matchbox series number 7. Yeah, refuge truck, Main England. And I hesitate to guess this is from early 70s, but pretty cool. And it's got this little sliding action going on. So back in the day, if you were playing with it like I did as a kid, one of these pieces, you'd stuff that full of pieces of broken matchsticks, little bits of stone and some tissue, and then you'd drive it along and you would tip it out. But again, this wasn't expensive. I think I paid £1 for it a couple of years ago. Got a little bit of something sticky there that could do a coming off, but it isn't too bad. So that's the first piece. We'll stick that to one side, and then just like I said, just following what's in there next to grab. And it is this, and again, I believe this was a car boot find. So this is a bit earlier. This is probably from about the mid to late 60s. And this bit always gets jammed up. There we go. So there's a little slide. Now I believe, if I remember rightly, is this a Studebaker? Upside down. Let's have a little look. Matchbox series number 42, Studebaker. Can't quite see. Lark Wagoneer. But anyway, this originally would have come with a dog, I believe, and a man with a gun, and you could stand the man in the back, I believe. But this is a great piece for survivor condition, if you want to call it that. Well, that's what I call it. Got a few. Now, these little divots on the roof, this was caused by the seller. This was just chucked in a box, if I remember rightly. And again, this was a couple of £1 purchase. It wasn't expensive, but if you look at the marks, you can see the actual die cast is quite fresh. And then you can see some older marks there. If I get to zoom in, there you go. You can see what I'm on about. You can see the older marks that have discoloured, and you can see the newer marks. And that was the shame. This car probably, when it was first being sold, was probably pretty much mint. And some sellers, I don't blame them. They're just old toy cars. They just throw them back in the box. But I didn't pay much for this. And like I said, it is a good survivor's car. And like I said, I forget, because I buy these cars, I research them, and I learn quite a bit, but I do forget quite a lot. And like I said, I'm thinking this is from about the mid-60s, between sort of 65 and about 68, 67, 68, something like that, off the top of my head. But it is a great looking casting, nice crisp lines. Matchbox back in the day did do great details. If you just stuck on these painted lights, they would have been up there with the premiums, in my opinion. So that is the Studebaker. So we'll move that off to one side as well. Next piece, again, most of these were car boot finds. So zoom out a little bit. And again, I didn't pay a lot for any of these, if I remember rightly. I know when I picked them up. I can sometimes, quite often, forget the dates of when the cars came out. But I can usually remember roughly where I got them from. So this is, again, another great Survivor piece. Alpha is an Alpha Carabo. There you go, Matchbox series number 75. And again, this is from the mid-70s, early to mid-70s. Got that 70s look to it. So pretty cool. And again, it wasn't expensive. Most of these cars in this box were from between £1 and a couple of pounds. So very cool. So again, stick that off to one side. This is a particular favourite of mine. I do like this. I have a few versions of this car. I also have the, I believe is it the Speed King or is it the Super King? I can't remember what they are now. But I've got the larger version of this car. If I can get it open now, which I think can't do on camera. Let's try and. So this is the Maserati Bora, which I can open, which is really good. So let's try and open it like a packet of crisps. No, bear with me. Got it. So like I said, the main reason I put these in little baggies is because they've lasted this long and I want them to last a lot longer. Because at the end of the day, we don't really own any of this stuff. We're just looking after it. So whether these get passed on to my kids or whether they get sold eventually, but the next owner will appreciate the fact you've taken the trouble to look after it. But there it is. Again, a great Survivor piece. Real wacky 70s Matchbox colour. The green and this, well, pinky purple. But there we go. So it does say number 32 Maserati Bora. 72 copyright. So, and the doors, nice yellow interior, snap fit, awesome piece. Particular favourite of mine. Next piece, I believe now, I think this is a Majorette, and hopefully I can get into it a bit easier. So I did say a while ago that I bought some Majorettes, and they were all from the 200 series, I believe, and they were all boxed in that weird little bubble blister that they did. And again, this doesn't want to come out, so I do apologise for this. And I think this was one of them, possibly. Very similar to the Matchbox version. Metal, which is pretty good. Doesn't look like it's got anything in the cab. Yeah, Majorettes. Is it going to say... So I hesitate to say, which I can't see because I've got a reflection. It just says something, I can't see it. But I believe this is probably 90s, from about the late 80s, early 90s, this particular piece. But again, wasn't expensive. It's pretty cool. So we'll put that to one side. Another Majorette by the looks of it. Am I going to have any success with opening this piece? Yes, straight into it. So this looks like a, yeah, it's a Corolla. I believe it's a Toyota Corolla. A little bit misshapen. I mean, massive wheels. I mean, look how much the gap is. That's a bit ridiculous. Loads of suspension. It's got no pillars there, which is... It's funny now, I'm looking at this casting for the second time since I opened it. It's quite an unusual casting. but it's pretty cool. Loads and loads of suspension. It's more like a Citroen 2CV, really. Nearly threw it across the room then. Let's have a little look what it is. So yeah, it just says Toyota Celica. When I say Corolla, yeah, Toyota Celica 2-litre GT. Not a bad model. It looked better if it had been like that. That's the only gripe. But again, you don't. How often do you see these particular models or toys? So that was an unboxed one from pretty much new. So the next piece, I'm getting through them, is another Majorette, if I can get it. And this one looks to be a transit van. Like I said, I haven't looked at these in, I don't know how long it's been since I've actually looked at these, because like I said, I've recently just moved all my collection, from all the ones that are not on display have all been moved into, I've got like a big walk-in cupboard, and it is, you can walk into it, it's quite high and goes quite far into it. I've shelved it out and lighted it all out and put cupboards in there, and I've got everything now that I can pretty much see. I don't have to search too hard anymore. So it's great. So you get to see cars that you've either forgotten you've got or you haven't seen in a long time. So there you go. Le Mans. Is that Le Mans? Yeah, Le Mans. So pretty cool. It does have really clear windows. It looks to be like a Mark III Transit it's based on. I believe that's a sliding door. Which, does it want to slide? There we go. So pretty cool. And again, got out loads of suspension. So that's pretty cool. And again, this will probably be, I should imagine, so this is probably just after they started removing Made in France. This is probably early 90s. But still, very cool. Next piece, I think it's swinging back to Matchbox now, the last few pieces. So this is a huge bag, which is awesome. Again, I know exactly where that came from. It came from a car boot sale that I used to go to after my work. Hasn't been there for a while. He'll be back again at some point, but this is a little bit tatty. I suppose you could border it on play worn, but it is still very cool. Again, I think I paid £1 for this. Looks like it's on transitional wheels. So there you go. Something Coach, can't pronounce that. Made in England, 1970. Leslie products, sorry. But yeah, pretty cool. I have got a mint one somewhere. But again, not too bad at all. I don't know what that was that was beeping there. It's a bit of random. What was that? Okay, it was strange. Something I can't see was vibrating against my desk. It ain't my phone. Oh, that was cool. So, move that to one side. The next piece, this, according to, I think it was Tyrone that building the Ultimate Matchbox car collection, who knows his stuff, said this is quite an unusual piece, apparently. Again, this is another car boot find. I have quite a few of these Land Rovers. I think it's based on the Defender. I think Defender 90. It's a little look. It will actually say. So it does say Land Rover something. But yeah, 87. So it's a universal toy. But yeah, he has a vast collection of these, bigger than I do. I have a couple of these. They're pretty cool. And he said the one with the police sort of livery down the side is quite unusual. So that was always cool to hear from Tyrone, because he knows his stuff. Go check out Tyrone's channel if you love watching Matchbox. So that is Tyrone building the Ultimate Matchbox car collection. Go check him out. But yeah, pretty cool. So we'll move that to one side. I am getting there. This is a bit different. This is more giving me a break. I just fancied doing something a little bit different this morning. I nearly dropped the box off the side. That'd been cool. Can I get into this? Is it going to be playing ball? Yay. So this is, I can tell you straight away, is the field car. This is not the first variant of the field car. The field car did come out in the late 60s. and it used to have, I believe, like a bit like that, like a 2-piece wheel. And then they did move to the super fast, and they've done many variations. They do a new field car nowadays, and again, this is a pretty cool survivor piece. It has managed to keep its roof, which is usually a bit that tends to disappear. But there you go, Matchbox series number 16, I believe. Yeah, look, 1969 copyright field car. Pretty cool. And again, some awesome Matchbox suspension. So I'll move that to one side. Get in there now. This will be one that Jim from Red Trucks will love, as he loves his red trucks, his fire engines and all that good stuff. And this is not playing ball again. I really cannot. I've just got a new car in real life, I should say. I've got myself a convertible. I've been working on it, and my fingerprints have wore off between my work that I do and fiddling with real cars. I've lost my fingerprints, so I've got no grip. But anyway, pretty cool. This is a fire engine, as you can tell. I had one exactly the same as this as a child. The ladder does lift up and down. I believe that piece does pull up. I believe. I'm not going to try and pull it up. But again, not a bad piece. A little bit chipped and play worn, but why not? Has a cool engine there, almost like a blowing engine. But there you go. It does say Matchbox Superfast. N, is that number 22? Blaze Buster. So obviously it's not a real piece, but it is cool. And if it was real, it would be an awesome looking fire truck. And again, quite well done. You can see, if you zoom in, if I can get the phone to zoom in, you can see the actual, what look like, well, they look like gauges. But pretty cool. But again, if you like fire engines, go check out Jim from Red Trucks. Shows some awesome pieces. And then the last piece, now I've got several of these, and I believe, if I can get into this bag, if it's going to, I should have changed the title of the video today to watch Mike from Diecast Looney try to get into plastic bags. So this one's actually quite tatty. I've got one of these in mint condition in a different box, and I believe this was a concept car in real life. So there you go, Matchbox series number 56, BMC 1800 Pininfarina, something like that, 1969. But again, this was only about £1, wasn't expensive. The wheels are good, the doors do still shut, loads of suspension. But anyway, I'm not going to get all the cars out because there's too many to go on the table. Something a bit different. I will be back to normal diecast or vintage diecast Monday episodes next week. I will be revealing my custom sometime this week. I have at last managed to finish it, so I will be showing that. But like I said, this is what it is. I've had a bit of a hectic time, so this was just a bit of an easy thing for me. But anyway, with that, please like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for more vintage diecast Monday episodes or late episodes. Also stay tuned for premium episodes, customs, blah 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 blah. And with that, I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.